Hello, and welcome to Women's Wellness. I'm Joanne Hampton. Today's show is going to be about making better choices. I believe that most of the 2018 New Year's resolutions are all about, or probably sound like, this year, I'm going to eat healthier. This year, I'm going to exercise more. And this year, I'm probably going to lose some weight. It sounds familiar? Because I know I've been saying those same things for the last 10 years. I always find how surprising it is that some women will make such drastic changes in their lifestyle just to achieve this goal. They want to lose weight, they want to be healthier, and then the reality of life sets in. With that reality, there's schedules that need to be filled, and you're running around, obligations, and I always love all those things that come up and take us away to, well, you know what, I'll just do it tomorrow. So we're basically setting ourselves up for failure. On today's show, Making Better Choices, we will talk about a few simple but yet smart, easy changes that could help us succeed in our day-to-day lives. And who better to guide us than the culinary director for ABC7, professional chef, restaurant critic, contributing food and wine editor for Sarasota Magazine, exclusive culinary director and culinary travel editor for mycookingmagazine.com, Judi Gallagher. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Joanne, thank you so much for having me, and I'm excited about your show and I'm excited about your messaging because we as women put way too much pressure on ourselves as it is.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Let's get started by telling everyone a little bit about how you even got started cooking.
Well, you know, it's so funny because I have been obsessed with food my entire life, and I mean really obsessed. I grew up in a Jewish household where while you were eating breakfast, you were asking your mother what was for dinner. It's very, very similar with a lot of ethnic families, but that was such a big part of us, and we ate when we're happy and when we're sad, and food was such a celebratory thing almost every night of the week, really. That at a very young age, I was very focused. I was fortunate to be born with an uber palate, which I didn't even understand what that was. But I can taste chemicals in products. I can taste when something is not fresh. At age 6, I could decipher if fish was frozen or fresh. And that's helped me along in my career. But I became a professional chef, not because my parents wanted me to. Back in the late 70s, when I was nearing high school graduation, I told my parents I wanted to be a chef like Julia Child. I could relate to her. I'm 6'2" tall, and here was this woman who had this incredible presence and taught herself French cooking and immersed herself into it. But my parents thought I should be a dietitian because that's what women did. Right. Now, I was not strong in the sciences or math, and I certainly was not comfortable in a hospital setting. So eventually I was able to convince them to become a professional chef. I had 2 restaurants and a dessert company for many years in the Boston area. We moved down here 21 years ago, and the rest is history. I always say, do I say I was in the right place at the right time or the wrong place? Because I was doing a cooking demonstration at the former Summer House many years ago for a charity, and there were 2 TV producers in the audience, and they asked me to come on TV, and I said no for 4 months, and the next thing I knew, I had a cooking show and a dining show, which I did the dining show for 9 years, and as the writing and my consulting firm picked up, I moved over to ABC, and I'm so proud to be the culinary director for such a great news organization.
That is so wonderful.
Yeah.
What I also feel is wonderful is this one thing you had mentioned when we had met that I just want to share with everyone because it was the cutest thing. I believe you said you were 5 years old when you came up with this. But it's like when you think about it, I'm going to use this with most of my, I don't eat what isn't delicious.
It's, you know what? I wear that as my badge of honor. And I'll tell you why, because, you know, for sure, as a food critic, I'm going to taste the bread, just a teeny piece. I'm going to taste the butter to make sure it doesn't taste like the walk-in. I'm looking for freshness and things like that. But if it isn't the perfect slice of pizza with ooey cheese, and yes, I do occasionally have a slice of pizza, it is not worth the calories. And even as a young child, I was not born with a chocolate lover's gene. So I would pretend to like chocolate milk because my friends did. But in all honesty, I was a very picky eater as a child. And I ate a lot of Bumblebee solid white tuna packed in water with Hellmann's mayonnaise. My parents would buy it by the case, but I was particular, and it had to be Hellmann's mayonnaise, and it had to be only packed in water. I could tell if it was oil, on toasted Jewish rye with lettuce and tomato, and I've been like that my whole life. If it is not absolutely delicious, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have a bowl of low-fat ice cream. I'm going to have a tablespoon of high butterfat ice cream and get that flavor and that richness and then be done with it.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to use that when I continue with everything
Good.
through life, because if it's not delicious, why bother eating it?
And, you know, I think also, Joanne, I thought about us in that conversation, and I thought, you know, we all are told to practice mindfulness more, right?
Right.
Well, I think one of the things that has happened is we're all so busy, you multitask, I multitask, is that we forget mindfulness around food. So I think what you have to first do is you have to be mindful of having the right ingredients in your home and in your kitchen and extricating the bad ingredients that you might make a bad choice. In my home, there's almond butter. There's now the PB2. Have you seen the powdered peanut butter? You can get this at Whole Foods. It's a packet. You rehydrate it. It has 80% of the fat of peanut butter taken out. I put that on a fiber cracker. That's a pretty good start for a mid-morning snack to help me. But I'm always able to reach in for a big Honeycrisp apple, some good cheese, a cheese stick will suffice, or even a little slice of cheddar cheese, and I always have proteins. I have salmon, or I have some steak, or I have some chicken that I can grab real quickly and roll up with lettuce, and yes, I have the mayo on it, but that is a much better choice than running to a fast food place or running someplace that's going to give you a dressing, and the dressing may have 1,000 calories in it.
They say the dressing is worse than...
It's the evil one.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, you did kind of touch on this, but just because we're trying to develop like a healthier eating habit. And so what are those no, like that, what should we really be avoiding?
Well, I think how you started this segment was true. We need to avoid putting hard expectations on ourselves. Trust me, I've done the gambit. I love Weight Watchers. I think it works. I think support groups for many people are important. The most recent way I lost weight was going over to Age Vital Pharmacies in Sarasota. I still, now that I've lost most of the weight, I've gained a little bit back, it's the belt buckle diet. When I notice my clothes aren't fitting quite so well, then it's a reminder on the scale, okay, maybe I won't have a glass of wine for the next 3 weeks. They're empty calories right there. Why do I need that? Or I'm going to a birthday party and I know it's a brunch, I might have a salad before I go. Things like that I think are important, but also not to overdo your expectations. I think that's really the key. That's how I do it. I mean, I eat out 4 nights a week. I test recipes probably 5 days a week, and I'm exposed to food in so many different segments, like the best of on the Suncoast View. And when I falter is I go and I grab something that I shouldn't. So I think we just have to practice mindfulness in every step. And as long as you have a better choice to go for, and remind yourself, nope, I'm holding out tomorrow night. I'm going to Cafe Barboso for dinner, and I want to have a slice of that fig marmalade pizza. I enjoy it. I want it. So don't take away too much right away, but make important choices. Take your vitamins. My B12 shots twice a week at Age Vital helps give me the energy and keeps me to the point where my metabolism is keeping up with everything.
Absolutely. I know you were mentioning about having those quick things to grab. That is my downfall, because if I don't have those quick things to grab, so the other day I found myself, doing, because as women, we're being pulled 100 different ways in different directions every moment of every day. So there I was putting the clothes in the wash from the wash machine into the dryer because I almost had to run the rinse cycle again. And as I stopped and I was eating the crust from the grilled cheese sandwich that I made for my kids because he doesn't like the crust, and it was there, it was easy, and I was able to eat it, and which is terrible, and then I hate myself for it. But you had mentioned like the cheese sticks, the apple, like those quick, you're out there and you have all, just so that for our listeners, it's just some ideas where they could go over to the grocery store, and don't ever go if you're hungry. Worst thing you can do for yourself. But what are some things that they could actually pick up that's quick grab, so that I'm not grabbing the leftover grilled cheese sandwich, I'm grabbing the apple per se.
Well, we're so fortunate nowadays because, whoops, sorry about that. That was my microphone. But we're so fortunate because there's so many options now in various grocery stores. The number one key to anything is think ahead and read the labels. So that being said, if I realize, I tend to get the shakes if I miss a meal. So that being said, if I'm going to run over to, say, Whole Foods, I'm going to make a conscious effort to either grab an egg salad wrap or a small container of tuna fish right away. I bolt in and I know that's what I'm going to have. And that makes a difference. I have a few of those at home in case I need to grab that. There's so many options. You can get cucumber rolls at the sushi station in a grocery store nowadays. The number one key is to keep snacks in your car. For me, it's gluten-free matzah. And yeah, there are some days I probably have too many, of the square panels. And so for some people, it may taste like cardboard. For me, it helps fill me up. But the key is that before you're running to do the laundry is having something that's accessible that you can take a bite of. Almonds, and I know you hear it over and over and over, but I go to Trader Joe's and I pay the extra $1 for the almonds that come in the individual serving packets. I keep 2 in the car. I make sure every single day I eat a Honeycrisp apple. To me, that's better than, other than a homemade slice of apple pie. That's probably my favorite thing. But I'll cut it half of a big apple and I'll bring it in the car with me. So other than crunching while I'm on a conference call and I'm driving, I have that apple. I have 2 cold waters. I have a little fiber to put in my water, and that helps set the tone of my day. And that's what's important for people. Set the tone. Make your smoothies 2 days in advance.
Right.
Add flaxseed oil. Add chia seeds. Your hair will grow better. Your nails will grow better, and it will fill you up more. The accessibility of what we've always said, shop the outer part of a grocery store. When you go in and you start seeing the tortilla chips and things like that, that's where you may blow it. So you have to sit down and kind of make a list. I have my non-negotiables. No matter what diet I've ever tried, nobody can take away my half and half in my coffee. I used to drink it with light cream in it. That was a big change for me to cut down to half and half, but I refuse to go any lower calorie or richness in that, and that's okay. That's my thing. That's what I have.
I love half and half too, so I can understand that. I know you go to the farmer's market almost every day, and that's where how often you go, and you pick a lot of the ingredients. And I wanted to just, because I have a lot of different stuff in my pantry, or when I go, I basically look around aimlessly because I'm not sure what I'm looking at. But to spruce up food, and these different ingredients that you know of, that you're seeing, that I just kind of glance past, help me. What could we use to spruce up? After a while, I love salad, but it could get boring.
It can get boring if you're just having a tossed salad. I'm a saladaholic. My husband will tell you, we'll go out to dinner and I'll order 2 salads as my meal. And the server, always says, you're ordering 2 salads. And I say, I know. But, the thing is, number one, ask. Why are we so afraid to go up to Warden Farms at the downtown farmers market or some of these beautiful farms that you have here in Manatee County? Why do we not ask the expert?
I know.
Excuse me, what is this?
Yeah.
Are there carbohydrates in it, and how would I cook it?
Exactly.
I mean, knowing things like Asian greens and how peppery and exciting they are and how organic arugula almost hurts. It feels so good right there. Those little notes, asking somebody that information is what makes it key. So, we grow up, or at least I did in Connecticut, where you went out and you picked a tomato off the vine and ate it. And we don't do that anymore, but you should.
Yeah.
You should buy. When I go to the farmers markets, I look for grape tomatoes, yellow or red right away, and strawberries, and I'm popping them in my mouth after I've bought them, enjoying it. But I still, to this day as a chef, say, how are you guys making this? Hey, I just picked up some red snapper. I was thinking about maybe using these turnips. Any ideas? I never thought about shaving fresh turnips and radishes on my mandolin to add to a salad. A salad is not composed of just what I call water-filled greens. I do not eat iceberg unless I'm having turkey meatloaf, and for some reason I like iceberg with mustard on it, and I'll do that as a cold bite. But, with the scare romaine, there's so many more different greens that you can eat. You don't have to love kale. That's a hard one to love. But there's so many more vibrant greens and fresh spinaches that you can use that really pop flavors, and that's what's important. And that's how I live on beautiful salads with protein.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask.
Exactly.
I'm definitely going to step up and ask. So I also know a lot of the viewers are probably wondering, well, because you do go out to eat a lot, and that's everyone's downfall. Is what do you order when you go to to a restaurant? How do you stay good? How do you, everything's loaded with sodium or whatever it is. The first thing when I walk into a restaurant and the waiter comes over, I tell him, that pretty little bread basket. Don't bring it, because if you put it in front of me, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, especially
I know.
if it's great bread, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, please just don't bring it. And that's kind of how I get through whenever I go to a restaurant. But what are some there's a lot of menus now that have the lighter and and less calories, which is great. And everyone it's like get the salad and get the dressing on the side, and sometimes I can go through 2 of those. But
right, so it's counterintuitive because we don't necessarily know. So there's lots of different ways to do this. Don't expect a restaurant to be able to recreate things a la minute, especially meaning at that moment when we're in high season. What I tend to do is if we say we're going to a particular restaurant, I will look online at their menu and then kind of customize in my mind. Oh, they have a fresh naked catch. That would be really great. Oh, I love the idea of that salad, but I think I'll split it because it's made with pomegranates. And while healthy and a superfood, there's a lot of sugar, and I'm watching my sugar intake. That's one way to look at it. On the bread baskets, it is hard because I am going to taste a little bit, but look at the differences. Nowadays, you can go to a Colombian restaurant. The Table Creek side has mozzarella yuca rolls. They're gluten-free. That's a great option. I want that little treat. So I tell people you also have to pick and choose. It is hard when it's in front of you, but if you know ahead of time so you don't veer off, the veal chop with an exciting fresh sauce that isn't necessarily a hollandaise sauce, maybe it's a chimichurri, is a much better choice than the pounded breaded veal chop with hollandaise and crab meat, and that's, the equivalent of 3 meals. So it's a little challenging for me because I have to taste both versions and decide which I like more. But I also have learned along the way, I bring more people when I'm going to taste a new restaurant. So I can take a bite and not have to, because it's hard. If I'm tasting an incredible meatball sandwich like at Piccolo's, I'm in all the way. Like, I'm going to be eating that till there's nobody's business, because it's delicious and the bread is like Jersey and it's everything I want. But if I'm with other people, I can cut it into quarters and have that wonderful quarter bite, and then I've done it, and I'll focus more on the antipasto salad.
Absolutely, and not feel as guilty. One of the other questions I wanted to ask you is like some substitution for different ingredients. I know a lot of women, like, they're trying to cook their own meals, or you know, so just some ideas that you could throw out there that maybe I can, you know, use this instead of this, and it's a great tasting and it's a great alternative. And
Absolutely. I mean, you know, there are things like no salts now and Mrs. Dash that really help for people that are on a very strict diet, and I encourage them. I also encourage people to have just a little windowsill box: basil, thyme, mint, all cilantro if you like it, all ingredients that are very simple to grow, fresh rosemary, and to have some dry seasonings that add flavor. For me, fennel pollen is like the gold mother. Truffle salt. Now, I don't really necessarily restrict my salt in my seasoning. I love salt and pepper, and that's where we also, I think sometimes we make a mistake. If we as women are trying to lose weight and we don't have to worry about too much sodium, the sodium that's going to kill you is that tomato basil soup from a fast casual place, because it's most logically, at best, it's coming from their commissary. At worst, it's pre-made. That's loaded with sodium. But to salt and pepper your food is very important. And those are the things, simple cooking techniques. And you get that a lot on my Chef Judi Facebook page. We'll have a lot of tips throughout the week and on my shows. Pouring flaxseed oil or avocado oil, just a little bit on your salmon with a little of that fennel pollen and kosher salt and pepper, and then searing it in a pan makes that salmon as delicious as you had in a restaurant, but without all the butter sauces and calories and things like that. And it takes a while to adjust. You know, when I was in high school, McDonald's was a new thing. I'm showing my age, long before they sold billions. But so we, you know, in my senior year, we went to McDonald's every day. It was a novelty, and I had my license. But eating a double cheeseburger and French fries every day, I put on a good 20 pounds. And, you know, so by the time I went to culinary school, I was actually losing weight by understanding that same theory. Wait a minute, I'd rather have a delicious grilled cheeseburger from Shady Glen and have my ketchup and onions on it than to have this like wasted calorie thing. So you just have to think about it. You know, you just have to, if you notice, these trends are being made easier for us. Look at Starbucks. I used to write Starbucks notes. I go to every Starbucks in an airport because I can't find something healthy, but all I can get is a banana. Now there's protein boxes that are based on how you eat. Fantastic choices of a hard-boiled egg, a piece of cheese, 4 grapes, something like that. That's another key that really helps. Its bottom line is it's hard and it's tempting and food is wonderful, but go back to what you said when we first met. If it is not absolutely the best, don't have a second bite, because the best still lives out there. I'll probably hopefully tell you where that best is, but don't use your calories on things that are wasted, and have a grab and go all the time.
Yes, absolutely. And that's wonderful that the viewers can go to Chef Judi Facebook page. And there's tips, recipes, what you're cooking. So definitely go on the page. Definitely like it. There'll be a lot of information there. And on my cooking magazine as well, which is something that I've been a proud owner for almost 5 years now. We now have one writer that is specific in writing about vegan recipes, and not all are alike either, so you have to remember that as well.
If you have a specific question about a certain diet, I may not necessarily be your go-to person, but if I can look up what the disease is and what you're not allowed to have, I can figure out some things. And there are some great online recipes. You can also, our dining page on mysuncoast.com/dining has slews of recipes, and you can also alternate them. But the key is basic flavor. Pure vanilla extract is just, when I'm thinking I might want something sweet and I'm not, fortunately for me, I'm not a big sweets eater, I open up my bottle of Madagascar vanilla and I sniff it for a moment and I'm okay.
Oh.
All right, I'll go back to that half of Honeycrisp apple that's sitting in my fridge.
That's wonderful. I cannot believe how quick the time is gone.
We've done it, haven't we?
We absolutely have. So to wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to mention or any secret tip that you'd like to share?
It really is true about drinking water. It's really good for our skin. It really hydrates, but it's very true. And I guess my biggest thing is to go back to what we first said. Don't put so much pressure on you. Don't look at it, I need to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to try to change some ways and see if I can get 5 pounds off while I'm doing it.
Excellent.
And be a little bit more mindful and use other sources. We're too busy doing all of our things. Let the experts give you the information. And the healthier we can all be and the better we can be in fighting cancers and diseases, the better we're all going to be as a community. So jump in there and go to the experts and follow people like you and just take it. Sometimes you have to take it meal by meal, not just day by day, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And so definitely go to Chef Judy's Facebook page.
Thank
and
you.
We were also talking about how if you're going to go out and dine and you're a diabetic or you're concerned about something, she has no problems with you shooting a quick message.
Absolutely. If I won't necessarily see the Facebook message right immediately, but you can also email me, Judi at judygallagher.com. It's Judi with an I. But look at the menus that are online, and you can always call the restaurant and say, is that an updated menu that you have listed? Find out if they have gluten-free pastas, and be careful because some are not necessarily better than the others. I mean, if I could eat white pasta every day of my life, I would. But I just wait and hold out, and every few months I have a little, and
And you're good. But your substitution for pasta is, you were saying it's zucchini, and you absolutely love it.
Everyone needs to buy one of those little Veggetti spiralizers. Trust me, and I don't recommend that you buy it already spiralized in the grocery store. It's like garlic. Anything that's fresh, once it's been exposed to oxygen, it loses some of its nutrients and flavor. But I just kind of enjoy twirling it around, toss it in. You can top it with bolognese sauce. You can top it with fresh mint and shrimp and garlic and fresh mint from your little earth box that you have. So all good tips, but we probably eat zucchini noodles in our home and sweet potato noodles about twice a week, and it really is delicious.
Thank you so much, Judi, for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for all those wonderful tips.
My pleasure.
I want to also thank METV for giving us this opportunity to share women's wellness with all of you. As a 14-year breast cancer survivor, I can't stress how important it is to me to be out in the community and to say, get your mammograms. Early detection saves lives, and I've seen that firsthand, and it is so true. But as I'm out in the community discussing women's wellness, I was amazed at how many different people, different comments, what they felt women's wellness was. So much more than got your memo, and I believe it's because as women, when we do something, we do it with everything. We do it because of our hearts. We do it with all of our emotions. So the next couple of segments that are coming up, we have, and stay tuned to our Facebook page, which is Women's Wellness with Joanne. We have positivity. We have laughter is the best medicine. Just to heal the complete woman, because the complete woman is really what women's wellness is all about. And I cannot thank METV enough. go to our Facebook page. Please go to Chef Judy's Facebook page. There's so many wonderful tips there. And if you have any questions, any concerns, I would love to hear from you. So get in touch. Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in to Women's Wellness with Joanne.